All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, friends and salty fuckers alike. We are the Keyboard Warriors, episode 65. My name is Eddie Law from Dayton, Ohio. Fred Kirby from LA in the heat, finally some real fucking heat for you motherfuckers is Jesse Rubacava. And of course, because there's been no other MMA there's been no MMA this whole month until this weekend. We're wrapping up Mayweather McGregor at this point, tying up in a nice, shiny little bow to hopefully not have to talk about this for basically ever again. But highly doubt we get to that point. Anyway, so Fred, let's talk about the buys, man. Everybody was saying, "Oh, it's gonna, I don't think it's gonna beat Mayweather or Pacquiao with the 4.6 or whatever it was." Blew out of the water. What was the final number? So far the final number is like 6.2.
I had heard 6.5.
No shit.
Is what I recently just heard. Now I don't know if that's true. It's just like some fucking Instagram video that Uriah Faber had posted with Dana White saying it, but I don't see why Dana White would be lying to Snoop and Faber. So I'm going to listen. It doesn't surprise me a bit. What the fuck? I mean, this fight had the world talking. I kind of knew. I thought that it would definitely. I didn't think it'd do 6 million. If I'm being fucking honest, I thought that it would beat Mayweather Pacquiao. I thought it would break 5, but kind of just above 5 million, 6.5 million, or even 6.2 hypothetically, is a little surprising. But I mean, this fight was fucking huge, man. It was one of those deals where you had everybody from fucking, Joe Blow ass fuck sports fan to fucking WWE fans to fight fans to combat sports fans to curiosity seekers. I mean, this fucking fight had it all, man. So any kind of huge numbers don't really blow me out of the water. I also heard that something like fucking 100 million people streamed it illegally or some shit. Like some kind of fucking stupid number of illegal streams were supposedly put up on it. So, nah, man. I for one expected it to do gangbuster numbers. I'm not really too surprised at all.
Yeah, you know what? The thing is, I didn't expect them to do great, big time numbers, but man, it's fucking 6.5. 6.5. That's the power of who fucking knows. Of what if? That's the power of what if. That's what dragged us all into this shit. Is what if he lands? We'll talk about the performance here in a second. But Jesse, 6.5 million. Did you even think it was going to come that close?
No. I mean, I think in our assessment of the pay-per-view buys last week, I went back and looked, and we're about the 5.5 million. But one of our listeners, Prince, and another guy, I think the other person actually was closest. I think they said like 6.3 or something. But Prince said over 6 million. So both of those guys obviously had some true Conor McGregor fandom going, because anybody out there was really thinking 6, man. I think the most we were thinking was 5.5, but this is just incredible. Plus, I mean, think about it. With over 100 million people, illegally downloading it or whatever, I mean, imagine what the buys would have been. Stop stuff like that. And you got to also think about, that's not including the people that were on Periscope or Twitter or whatever streaming it. That's a lot of numbers still. I mean, that's some really, really nice numbers finally with pay-per-views for this stuff.
No,
so hold on, let me ask y'all something expanding on that. Now that we know what the number is, all the hoopla is over, everything's said and done. I hate to say this because I mean, putting something into the idea of forever and ever, clearly something will be better than this eventually, but whatever tops this, what could possibly top this? It's not a boxing match. It's not, I mean, what could anything ever break 6.5 million pay-per-view buy? I mean, what would you have to do? Have Justin Bieber fight a shark? What on earth could you do to get more than 6.5 million pay-per-view buys? I mean, could anything ever break this record?
See, and I was talking about this right after the fight ended, because we were talking about, look, the UFC, TV had problems with the stream service, right? The company they used or they partnered with for that totally fucked up. They weren't ready for it. Other pay-per-view spots, I think Comcast fucked up. A bunch of places fucked up, right? They couldn't handle the workload basically. So I was wondering, I was like, man, they have to have the numbers on this shit is gonna be big as fuck. I didn't think 6.5 million, but they were big as fuck. Now, I remember I was talking to somebody after the fight. I was like, do you think Mayweather fighting MMA against Conor does that kind of number? There's those numbers. We both agreed that it probably wouldn't.
No,
you know what I mean,
no,
but I can't think of anything, man. I mean, unless Muhammad Ali comes back from the dead, and in his 20s.
You don't got the 49-0 in MMA.
Yeah.
So I mean, and MMA is not as prestigious as boxing. Whether no matter how bad us MMA fans might not like to admit it, it's just the truth. So no, nowhere near. Quite frankly, sad as it is, I think if they fought in an MMA cage, it would only do about half, maybe less than half of those buys. Yeah. $1.5 million, $2 million, maybe. You know, it loses a lot of the luster. So, I don't know if anything could ever match that, man. Which is you know, pretty impressive shit in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's I know it is damn impressive, but at the same time, it's it makes me shit. We got a lot of comments. Hold up. Okay, I gotta read the comments because they're actually pretty decent. UC says some bitch ass already disliked it already. What the fuck?
You cocksuckers.
Yeah, it's one salty bastard. I'm no, you know what I mean? Like, all right, well, hey man, hey, thanks for the view, you fucking cocksucker. Do your thing. Raider says fuck. I was way off on that number. Yeah, this is fucking hilarious. There's a lot of people talking about that shit. Like a lot of name calling going down for this poor sap. I pity that bastard. I'll tell you what.
I pity the fool.
Yeah, right. Raider says the problem with boxing is if it's a super boring fight, you got to wait through 12 freaking rounds. They should cut boxing to 8 rounds. The prelims were long. You agree with that, Fred?
Yeah. Well, kind of, man. The problem with boxing is, in my opinion, it's too fragmented. There's a lot of fun boxers out there, but like, you know, this Triple G Canelo fight coming up is a prime example of that. If those two fights were operating in the MMA stratosphere, you know DW makes that one mega event, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know how this works as MMA fans. We get those events. You don't get those in boxing, period, Jack. I mean, there are some exciting – don't get me wrong. He's right. When a boxing fight does suck, those extra 4 rounds are fucking tedious. But it's not, you know, not all boxing matches are shit like that, man. There's a lot that are. It's just that the good guys they got are all in these different fucking promotions or under different banners and shit. They all got 32 different belts. It's a fucking clusterfuck of epic proportions. It makes you happy to be an MMA fan, to where we got 2 teams, basically, Bellator and UFC. And UFC's really kicking the shit out of Bellator, so, you know, boxing is fucking not like that, Jack.
No, not at all. Now, all of Mayweather's boxers won that night. I did not know that. Wait, Jesse, did you see the Davis fight?
Gervonta Davis, the one right before the...
Yeah, the Cookie Monster.
Yeah, him. So they're calling him the next Mayweather. You buy that shit? Because that dude was just like, what the fuck, the whole fight.
All right. So a little insight on that guy. Yes, even Mayweather was calling him the next Mayweather beforehand, trying to kind of build him up. He kind of feels like he has that ability to be that next guy in boxing to kind of, and you saw it. He's flashy. He's got, you know, a pretty good style of boxing that's, you know, pretty appeasing. You know, it's not boring. It's not defensive. He's pretty good at what he does. But he has a problem, and that's he missed weight. You know, now he has to move up. So, you know, even after the event, I believe Mayweather was talking to some reporters, and he said, yeah, you know, that he's going to pump the brakes on calling him the next Mayweather. Some stuff to work on. So, I mean, I think even in his own camp, they understand that, you know, he's got potential. He just needs to capitalize on his potential. I mean, you know, I had wanted to talk about a bunch of these guys on the undercard because a lot of these are, you know, hopefully people, you know, that bought the pay-per-view watch these guys fight because there are some pretty good fights. I mean, you know, boxing is a little boring. 12 rounds kind of tedious. There's some good, you know, the ability to shine, you know. But, you know, at the pay-per-view during, you know, there was like one, you know, Mexican family just sitting there in like the front row basically, and then all the other seats around him were empty. So it's kind of like, it was kind of sad for me to watch, like, you know, all these guys, you know, putting all their effort and everything. Like nobody was there to watch them fight. You know, it was kind of crappy. So I imagine, you know, around the world, everybody that bought the pay-per-view, nobody's watching the TV until they saw Floyd and Conor come out anyway. So.
Oh, that's a gem. Go ahead.
What's that?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Davis, Gervonta Davis, back to him. He's a good boxer. Just has some problems apparently that even his camp is kind of iffy about, you know. So he's exciting. He just needs to clean up a couple things.
Yeah.
Listen,
what up?
He needs to get his goddamn shit together is what he needs to do. I'm going to tell you something right now. Life is all about timing. Floyd fucking Mayweather isn't even exciting to watch box. He's probably fucking top 100 exciting boxers to watch. You know what I'm saying? But at the right times, Floyd put in the right performances. Against De La Hoya, against Canelo. He came in at the right times, did the right. I mean, timing is everything, man. And this was fucking Davis's time to shine, Jack. 6.5 million pay-per-view buys. You got the king of the hour saying that you're the fucking heir to the throne. What he needed to do was come out, make weight, and fucking thunderstruck that other boy in the fucking second or third round and put on the fucking performance of his lifetime. Had he done that in front of that audience at that time, shit, he might have stole the show.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I thought he could have finished that kid pretty quickly. I mean, Fonseca came in, it was like
everything.
Timing is exactly timing. And Mayweather, king of timing. I mean, didn't fight Pacquiao in his prime. Most guys that he fought that were legends were not in their prime. You know what I mean? To where, for example, De La Hoya fought anybody whenever. He's like, fuck it, bring the belt.
But they were still famous as fuck.
That's the
when
key.
He got them. He got that shine. He didn't get them in their physical prime, but he got them in their shine prime, Jack. So he could steal all that shine, man. Yeah, timing is crucial. And this was definitely anybody on this card. This was your fucking time, man, to make a name for yourself. If you came out on this card and you didn't fucking fight balls to the wall with everything in your soul, then you're a fucking dumbass, man, because this was the opportunity of a lifetime for an up-and-coming boxer.
No, I fully agree with that. Quick on the YouTube comments here. Raider says, he lost his title because of missing weight last time. He's another Macho Camacho, which when Gun Death immediately goes, don't you disrespect Macho? And then they're going, you know, they both like Macho apparently. Here's a good one or a question. Is is it UC think has said it? UC said actually no, I take it back. I fucking just lost the goddamn comment. Someone asked, and I'll give you fucking prop. Here it is. Liam Hughes says, anyone else excited to see RDA soon? RDA's taking on Neil Magny's pretty soon. You think Fred, you think RDA makes any noise at 170? That's a big fight. That's a big 170 for him.
Who'd you ask, me or Jess?
You.
I don't know, man. Who'd RDA fight? Tariq Safadine?
Eric Safadine, I think so.
That was his first fight at 70, right? And who won that? Tariq won that? Or did RDA?
RDA won that.
Okay, but it was super close, right?
If I remember correctly, yeah.
I think it was a pretty close fight. Jesus fucking Christ. You know how fucking after the fight, Conor said he made Floyd fight like a Mexican?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I think this son of a bitch is going to make me a Magny fan.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to fucking side with no Magny with this one. As much as everybody knows I have a very disdain for no Magny, but that fucking RDA prick. I don't love this whole, I don't know, man. Certain people can do the whole weight jumping thing, and then with other people, it feels very thirsty. Like, oh, it didn't work out here, so I'll just pop on up to this one. Nah, bruh. Everybody's not Anthony Johnson. What the fuck? It's good for some, but not everybody reaps those benefits like that. I don't think the RDA, I think he's better off at 55. It might be a rough cut for him, but I've seen fuckers look a lot worse than him on the scale. So and he doesn't look to be very big at 170. He might have won that fight against Tariq, but Neil Magny's going to be a fucking son of a bitch to deal with.
Yeah. But the homie Darkest Fangs in the comment section goes, all right, Kirby likes to talk shit. Let's see him in a boxing ring against Conor. Please believe Kirby would do that shit. If you pay him right, he'll do it.
Absolutely. Box Conor. Let me send a warning to everybody with Conor and Floyd being at the top of the list. If we ever run into each other in public, you can kiss my ass, Jack. Because I wish for anything you would punch me in the mouth. For $100 million or $200 million? Fuck yeah. Get sued, baby. Shit. I don't claim to be the baddest man on earth.
Oh, hey, fuck. Let's talk about a little bit about the shit talking going on right after the fight. Literally seconds after the fight, one Jose Aldo tweets out a bunch of laughing emojis. And I mean, look, Jesse, because he's coming up as just a salty motherfucker, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's sad, really. I mean, the greatest featherweight of all time is now just a guy that, is putting laughing emojis. Stupid. And isn't he talking about also just fighting out his contract so he can leave the UFC or something like that?
Yeah, he's talking like he wants to go boxing shit. He ain't wanting none of
that. If he had said something more like, yeah, I want to go pursue soccer, which is what he was good at before. I mean, come on, man. So, the only person I would want to see in a boxing match after this whole deal is Max Holloway against Paulie Malignaggi. Back and forth. And I don't think Malignaggi knows what he's talking about anymore. I think he's been a little concussed too many times in the head because now he's trying to pick a fight with Max Holloway, who's one bad dude. He'll go fight him just to go fight him.
Yeah, he fucking Fred. I don't know if you saw it. If anyone else saw it, Paulie. Yeah. Holloway's calling him Paulina first of all, which is hilarious. But Paulie basically said that MMA fighters don't know shit about body shots, and that's why Conor gassed out. Right.
Right. Yeah. I seen that. And then Holloway responded like, "Come, I'll show you something about body shots, Paulina."
Yeah, I got to give him one credit. I saw the little Paulie interview not too long ago, and he asked Paulie. He goes. Paulie's like, "Oh, I got to fight Conor. And Ariel goes in the cage, and Paulie said something to the tune of like, "I don't need the money that bad." You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Come on, dog. Shut the fuck out.
So, yeah, listen, man, this thing was fun. But other than that, man, I don't really care to see anybody else boxing anybody. There's no real need for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't a real need for this, but it was fun because it was a spectacle. It was Conor versus the greatest ever, blah, 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 blah. No other situation really calls for this. There's no need to see anybody. And listen, as far as Jose Aldo fucking tweeting out the smiley faces, fuck yeah. You know what? I'm Team Conor. But God damn it, Jose, when life presents you an opportunity to stick it in somebody's ass who's been sticking it in your ass for years, I say you take it. Fuck yeah. What's he supposed to do? Be happy or be sad rather? Oh, he feels so sorry. Fuck it. If I'm Jose Aldo, I'm happy as a lark too. I'd take the fucking picture of me fucking my old lady and eating some Brazilian sushi. Fuck you, Conor. That's what you get, cocksucker. I'd be happy as a motherfucker, truth be told.
Joe, but it just comes off so goddamn salty. Like the guy got knocked out in 13 seconds, coming off he just looks bad, man. Like the people give him shit for it, but of course, and like all those speak English, so it's not like he's gonna know what they're saying.
That's what I mean. He's like, fuck him.
Oh, here's a good one, real quick. 2017, Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor would be a good one. Agree?
That's a good fight, but I do think we're still a little ways away from needing to make that one just yet. I mean, listen, man, the reality is we might as well just understand that we're in a different phase of the UFC and MMA right now. The reality is he's probably going to get the Nate trilogy fight. I know that that's not the fight that most MMA fans want to see, but that's the fight that's probably going to sell the best because in reality, what are our options? Khabib's not an option. Tony Ferguson I guess is an option, but is he really? I mean, say you lose the Kevin Lee fight and you just do Tony Ferguson versus Conor right now. For shits and gigs, let's have a conversation. How many pay-per-view buys do you think Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor does right now, November, December this year?
Fuck, I can't even give you a number. Not anywhere near what the Nate fight would do. Nowhere near.
Well, true, but I mean, hypothetically, I would say.
What's that?
Really?
I disagree with you guys. You know why?
Okay.
Because of the fact that he's coming off this gigantic media push. And just having his name in the media right now that he's going to fight somebody, I think he's at the Ronda Rousey status. Because remember, right before Ronda Rousey fought Betch Correia, everybody's like, this do nothing. I mean, it's going to be the worst selling pay-per-view that Rousey's ever done. And it was a gangbuster seller. You know, and I think Conor McGregor is at that point where it doesn't matter who's across the cage from him as long as it's Conor McGregor. And I think even if you put him against Kevin Lee, let's say Kevin Lee wins the fight, whatever. Honestly, I don't think he's fighting this year anyway. But I think whoever comes out of that, whoever he gets next, I think that it doesn't really matter. I mean, for the MMA guys, I think Nate Diaz is kind of the guy you kind of want to see. You know, because you kind of want to put a bookend to that trilogy. But I think whoever you put in there against him, I think it's just gangbusters. I mean, Conor said it himself, right? It's panning it. We get that contract to fight him. So I think at this point, that's what it is.
Nope. Nope. Listen,
No?
How many pay-per-view buys did motherfucking Floyd versus Berto do?
Fuck, I don't remember.
I can tell you this. You don't need to Google it. It didn't do nowhere near 6.5 million, Jack.
No.
Your dance partner matters a lot. Listen, will a Conor McGregor pay-per-view do gangbusters regardless? Absolutely. He's going to do 1 million buys shadowboxing by himself. You put a warm body in there, he's going to do 1 million for sure. He is at that level. But once you're there, the opponent matters greatly. And the opponent's prestige and how they're built up. And Tony Ferguson could be that guy. He's just not right now. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why they need some time and some creativity with where they're going to put Conor to maximize his pay-per-view potential. Yeah, he's a draw on his own. But if you get him in there with, I don't know, Tyron Woodley for a third belt or GSP for a legend fucking soul-snatching fight or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Him versus Khabib in Russia. Of course, Conor's a big fight, but you got to elevate it now, and you got to get that big money. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, you think he's much more expensive now? Like just off the boxing match?
Generally speaking, yeah. I don't think he no 100 million or no shit, but yeah, I'd say his price tag went up a little. Generally speaking, listen, it's still MMA. You know what I'm saying? He can't come back like, ooh, where's me 300 million? Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, it's gonna go up a little, but what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people were talking about me included. I thought for sure he walked away after this shit. What?
No, I'm saying that Dana even said that he's gonna have to restructure his deal and how they pay Conor McGregor just because of this fight. So I mean, it's a game changer, right?
For him or for everybody?
Well, just for Conor. I mean, because, think about it. If the UFC, if Dana White is already thinking about giving a percentage of the company, even if it's a small percentage, to a guy, a fighter, I mean, that means that you really need to sweeten the pot for him to get back in the octagon. I think his next fight is going to be a huge fight, and we're probably going to see it, like, super stacked up, you know, like end of the year type card whenever he fights, you know, a couple title fights in there, the biggest selling, you know, the biggest star that can muster up, you know, maybe GSP or something like that.
I'll tell you what, they wouldn't want to do too much stock in old McGregor. I love McGregor and all, but after all, this is the fight game. And all of our heroes die, except for Floyd Mayweather, apparently. Apparently he lives on and gets to throw fucking $100 bills at strippers for the rest of his life, the cute little cocksucker. But most of the other ones, they all die eventually. And Conor done died a few times already on us. So to put all of our, I mean, hell, the cute cocksucker just died. What the fuck? Like, he comes back and gets Kimura by fucking Khabib. I mean, his fucking bust could, you know, the fight game's a funny thing, man. He knocked out Jose and he knocked out Eddie. Kudos to him, but in the grand scheme of things, there's still a lot to be done in MMA. He comes back and drops 2 more in a row in MMA. You know, I don't think that him and Chael Sonnen are similar. But you can't keep saying that and getting knocked out and beaten. It loses its luster.
Exactly. In the YouTube comments, Gundes says, seriously, if Conor McGregor is involved, it will sell. He has an entire legion of dick riders. There you go. He's an entire country. UC says, I don't see him going down into 145, to be honest. The weight cut is too deadly. In my opinion, he's perfect at 155. I have to agree with that. There's no reason to go back down to 145, to be honest with you.
And unless Max Holloway builds a hell of a reputation for himself, I doubt it too.
No, I have to agree with that. Let's see. Gundes says, I'm not hating at all, bro. I'm just saying if he's involved, money's getting paid. Absolutely. No, I mean, let's just get it out of the way here. I mean, if Conor McGregor's in it, it's making money. Why do you think they try so hard to book him as many times as possible throughout the year? You know what I mean? Madison Square Garden, they tried to get him a UFC 200. Dana had to pull him because he wouldn't do the media obligations, which is important for a Conor McGregor fight. You got to promote the shit out of that. That's how you get the big numbers, right? Got him for 205, got him for 202, got him for 205. I mean, that's fucking close right there. A lot of guys don't do that. Headline pay-per-views that close, you know what I mean? And then, I mean, now they're going to try, I mean, what are they going to try to get him for? Like,
for a while.
Yeah. What are they going to try to do? Get him for 218, 219? You know what I mean? They'll try to get him pretty soon here. Even though he's suspended, he's only suspended for a few months. He's not suspended for very long. Not even a few months. He's suspended till October.
Yeah,
so it's not long. So he could be ready for action pretty fucking soon. And we might see the Nate Diaz fight get announced. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen anyway, the Nate Diaz fight. Not because, because I want to see, because I do, but because Conor can say it himself, I have a trilogy to complete. It's the money fight for him. The thing is this, and Fred, tell me what you think. It's going to be for the 155 belt. It's not going to be just a fucking, just a 155 pounds with the lightweight champion. It's going to be for the belt. That's going to piss off a legion of people, especially the Ferguson fans and the Khabib fans and the Lee fans, right?
Yep. And you know what? I tell you what, this might surprise some people, but at this point, I tell you what, I don't give a fuck. So what? Here's the deal. Khabib fans, myself on the top of the list, he's not ready. Fuck. It's like Cyborg without the fucking cheating stuff. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity's there. If you can't make the weight and take the fights, bruh, then there's nothing more to be said. Here's the sad news, buddy. You're not a big enough draw for the Conor fight yet. So sad. Kevin Lee, you're in the same boat as Tony Ferguson. So guess what? You twos get to fight each other. And your benefit and your fucking your prize for fighting each other is y'all get to fight the winner of Nate versus Conor. And I mean shit, man. At the end of the day, I know Nate's doing a lot of fucking line jumping, and it's true. But can anybody with a straight face say that Nate wouldn't be that Nate wouldn't have a competitive fight with any of those guys? Quite frankly, I would pick Nate over everybody except Khabib and Conor. I think Nate beats Tony Ferguson or Kevin Lee, personally. So even if Nate wins the trilogy, I know people go, he shouldn't be the lightweight champion. Well, come beat his ass then. I don't think Tony Ferguson can. I don't think Kevin Lee can. And we don't know what the fuck's going on with Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib made himself a question mark. Like that, nothing happened to him. He made himself a question mark. Do me a favor. Can one of you pricks look up Nate Diaz's record? Yeah, I got you.
I know it's spotty as fuck, but I know a lot of his like really bad losses came at 70. Right. I know he's got the one finish to Josh Thompson, which that's a legit. He got fucked up in that fight. But I don't think Nate's record at 55 is too terrible.
All right, so
and Fred, you're right, Fred, because think of his last fight at 55, right before that Conor fight, was against Michael Johnson, where he looked spectacular.
Right.
I've ever seen up until that date, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he beats Rory Markham, Marcus Davis, loses to Dong Kyung Kim, and I believe that was at 70.
That was at 70.
Rory McDonald lost.
Those were both at 70.
Okay, keep moving. Let me fucking get this thing back. All right. Takanori Gomi was a win. I believe it was at 55. Donald Cerrone was at 55. Jim Miller was at 55. Benson Henderson was at 55, but that was also he was fucked up, injured as shit going into that fight. But he lost to the champion. So what are you gonna do?
And it was a good fight too.
Yeah, he got in there. It was
a good fight. He didn't, it was a good fight.
Yeah, he didn't pull out of the fight, and it went decision. He didn't get finished.
And fuck, people get in hindsight's 2020. Benson Henderson's a goddamn animal.
Yeah,
an animal.
Bad motherfucker.
So expect he was the champion for a while for a reason.
Exactly. And then Anthony Pettis came and armbarred his ass. How do you lose your belt to Anthony Pettis in WEC and then lose the same belt to you in the UFC? Goddamn.
There you go.
He gets finished by Josh Thompson in the second round.
Right.
Yeah. And then
that was legit.
Beats Gray Maynard. Gets a decision loss against RDA, and then beats Michael Johnson at 55, which is what got him the Conor fight basically, and then beats Conor and then loses to Conor. So
what do we got? We got RDA, Conor,
Benson,
and Benson.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack. That is not like people make it seem like Nate's just been getting thumped on or something. Yeah, he got thumped on at 70 a couple times, but at 55, his natural weight, he is a fucking beast. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of crybabies going, Nate don't deserve no title fight. But I tell you what, if Nate takes that fight and he fucking finishes or submits Conor in the 5th round, I tell you what, good luck to the motherfucker trying to come take that belt from him, Jack.
Exactly. And what's up?
No, and you know what? Think about it. Benson and Josh Thompson both are no longer in the UFC. Dos Anjos is no longer a 155er. I mean, so if you take those guys pretty out of contention for guys that can beat them, I'm looking at a bunch of people that are still top competitors. I mean, Gray Maynard, he's
Donald Cerrone,
but Donald Cerrone, Jim Miller, Takanori Gomi, these guys are still hanging around, still doing their thing. I mean, yeah, I agree with Fred. I mean, he might as well just make that 3rd fight and, cash in. Cha-ching.
Oh, it's gonna, and that's probably what's gonna happen. And then the other point I wanted to make was Nate Diaz is ranked number 6. Okay, right now. Please believe he bumps up to like number 3 in the next 2-3 weeks. That's the next fight. All right, that's your tell right there, because the UFC will use that.
I think it should be, like I said, man, Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson both need each other right now.
Badly.
They need another fight, and they need a really impressive performance. And if they do that, especially in Kevin Lee's case, being undefeated, fucking the look, he's from Detroit, he's young, he's got a fucking mouth on him. He almost kind of reminds me of Conor a little bit, to be honest with you.
Right.
Completely different type swag, but very brash and confident and young and skillful. So if Kevin Lee can surprise the world and come out and fuck Tony Ferguson up and say the right shit on the mic, then all of a sudden him and Conor, he might be worthy of that spot.
Exactly.
Before we get off this whole topic, Nate Diaz transitioning to something that he did this weekend. Somebody finally punked Brendan Schaub for being an idiot. All right. When you're a guy that supposedly is great at marketing, great at giving advice, and you go up to somebody that didn't ask for your advice and you try to offer your advice to them and they tell you to go screw yourself, hey, you can't be crying about that. So Brennan, keep your mouth shut with your fancy little shoes and your tight ass pants. Just go ahead. Just go to your desk job. Don't talk to Nate Diaz, man. Nate Diaz don't need your advice. He's doing just fine.
Listen. I like the shoes. I like the pants, but going over and disturbing Mr. Diaz was probably not a very good strategic business idea. Certainly not to say that you was getting your face peppered up and to give Conor props.
What are you talking about? You're talking about the shop thing, right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Because here's the thing. A lot of people were like, the shop went on fucking Rogan's. I don't know if either one of you guys saw that shit. He goes in there and he's
I
like,
did. I caught that.
Yeah. He goes, oh yeah, I never said he got tagged out or teed up. I'm like, bitch, it seemed like such a retaliation comment from Schaub, because Nate looks at him and goes, "Look, you don't have the knowledge. You're not knowledgeable, though." Basically told Schaub, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about," in a nice way, really. You know what I mean? And then Schaub got all pissed and salty and shit and was like, "We teed you up," and that's when Nate was like, "What the fuck?" Someone made that video and edited it and put a pause, put black and white on there, and put that little soundbite that goes, "And this is the moment when he realized he fucked up." And then they played it, and then Nate just flicks him out and says, "Fuck you," and starts flipping him off.
Yeah. I seen that. I seen that too.
Career and a bunch of other shit. So that's to me, that was entertaining as fuck. And let me catch up here on the comments real quick, because I know a lot of people are here. Mike Drives, what up, man? Mike Drives in the house, our brother. All right. So Conor versus Lee, the presser would be fun, says Gun Death. True.
Fuck yeah.
And then UC says, also follow me on Twitter if you haven't. Oh, okay. Follow UC on Twitter. You see it in the comments because it's like Y0USUFFFF. All right. So holla out UC. Give him a follow. He says, because he says this. He goes, "All right, guys, it was super fun, but I got to go right now. It's 3 a.m. Look, first of all, I got to shout out to everyone that stays up this fucking late to watch this. Really, goddamn, you motherfuckers are real. For real. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Definitely. Mike Jarvis says, a lot of UFC newbies don't even realize Nate fights at 155. It's because everyone fucking thinks he's a heavyweight. Goddamn Dana and Conor, we're talking about like, oh, he fought a guy 3 times his size. What? No. Fuck out of here with that shit. That guy's a natural 55er, okay? Get out of here with that shit. Darkest Fang says, to be fair, Kirby, I'm sure you'll hear a who the fuck is that guy from Conor, though, against Lee if that ever happened. You know what? That's probably true. I think Conor would be something like that.
Listen, it depends on what Lee does to Ferguson. Let Lee come out there and knock Tony Ferguson completely unconscious. He won't need to ask who the fuck that guy is. Actions speak louder than words. Let him do some really impressive shit. Let him fucking Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate his arm on live TV or some shit. Bend Tony's shit back and snap it. I don't know who he is.
No, for sure. Gunda says, do y'all think Diaz could whoop Schaub at 185-pound catch weight? In MMA, no. In jiu-jitsu, maybe.
I was going to say, listen, in a cage, I doubt it. Backstage in a street fight, you betcha.
Yeah, you want to know why, though? Diaz will beat him in a street fight? Diaz rolls deep. That motherfucker doesn't go on anywhere. All right? Fuck that shit. Dude, Nate Diaz, you rarely see him without Chris Avila around him and the whole crew, guys, all right? So, first of all, don't start no fucking street fight with Nate Diaz. His boys are real. You ever hear the Renzo Gracie saying where he says, a real friend doesn't make sure that it's a fair fight. A real friend comes in with a flying kick? Yeah.
Listen, the problem with fucking Nate Diaz is he doesn't get tired.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, Brendan's a big boy and all, and he can well on him for only so long, but eventually he's going to get tired, and then Nate Diaz is going to choke him until he dies. So, it's sad but true. Like, fucking, apparently it's impossible to knock one of the Diaz brothers out.
And what up?
Plus, think about this. These guys don't care who you are, how big you are, how many you are in your entourage. They'll fight you. I mean, I had a secondhand video knowledge of when that fight against what was it, Khabib and his team.
Oh, it was Nick and Nate at World Series of Fighting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, those guys don't care. if you say anything to them like "What's up?" I mean, you might as well start throwing down right then and there because that's what they're gonna do next. Yeah,
you might as well just keep on walking. And Raider brings up a good point. She says, and he sumo wrestles. If you remember Skip Bayless on fucking whatever shitty show, debate show he's on, he said that Nate Diaz beat Conor with sumo wrestling.
Well, listen, yeah, that is a little ridiculous. But there is a lot to be said for. Okay, so before we get off of this whole Conor Floyd thing too, I want to bring up a point about this fight. Okay. So now that it's all played out, we haven't actually talked about this fight yet. I haven't spoken about the fight with you guys yet, at least, since it's happened. Okay, now, the fight's happened. We all saw what happened, and there's a couple narratives going around right now, right? What are all the MMA fans saying? All the MMA fans are saying, hey, go fuck yourself. He won like 3 rounds. He landed maybe 4 or 5, possibly maybe the first 4 rounds in round 8. Definitely the first 3, depending on how you score them, unless you're the fucking moron boxing judges. But he landed more punches than fucking Pacquiao. MMA fans are pointing to all these things. And then you have boxing guys that are going, and this is exactly what Nate Diaz and Brendan Schaub were arguing about fucking backstage, is that Nate was saying, like all fucking boxing pundits are saying, and it's true, it's hard to deny, that was part of the game plan. And it's a rookie mistake. You just let the rookies come at you. Like I've heard a lot of boxers come out and say since then that this is how pros spar with amateurs. They just glove up. And if you notice in boxing, they wear those kind of big tummy guards. They kind of come all the way up their fucking stomach.
Yeah.
So if you do this number in boxing, your gloves are big enough that it blocks your whole face, and your elbows almost kind of come to where the top of that belly guard is. So you can kind of fucking throw up like a shield in front of yourself, Jack. You know what I'm saying? And with the gloves being the size they are and not being able to use your other limbs, it's very hard to get a clean shot on somebody like that. So if somebody's an amateur, they just don't get it, and they're going to gas themselves out. So we all saw it happen. We all know that Floyd barely threw any punches the first 3 rounds. Conor gassed out bad as fuck around the 7th or 8th, and, you know, got thunderstruck in the 10th, barely made it out of the 9th. So here is my question with all this, and it doesn't really matter, but it's just a hypothetical. So even Conor had said that Floyd switched up his style in the fight 3 different times. Okay, now that might have been true, but I think it was very specific to when he used them. So I'll pose a question to you guys. This is my question coming out of it, because I think both sides are right? I think Conor did land more punches than any other boxer, which is impressive. Those first 3 rounds, that fucking uppercut he caught Floyd with, I don't think Floyd saw that one coming. There was a couple really good counters that he hit Floyd with. Towards the end of the fight, where Floyd started implementing that fucking come walking straight ahead game plan, fucking, you know, forehead to the chest, banging Conor out. Had Floyd done that in the first round, with Conor being fucking full of gas and still having the same speed and accuracy he had, how do you think that fight plays out? And I actually would like to have this conversation with boxing pundits. Now, Floyd doesn't have to have that fight. I understand that. He's a seasoned boxer, and he did the smart thing. But I see a lot of boxing guys saying, well, Floyd didn't fight a Floyd fight. Well, bullshit, he didn't. He fought the smartest fight possible.
Yeah.
He sucked the energy out of him the first 4 or 5 rounds. And then once people are like, oh, he battered him. Well, once he knew he could, he didn't go fucking rushing in with his head down in the first 3 rounds, Jack. Fucking stayed back, shelled up, and fucking every time that he did get cute, he got popped. So just for the sake of argument, before we let this die, it doesn't really matter. It's a hypothetical. I'm not trying to be one of those clingy MMA fans. It's like, well, but what if? But I think there's something to be said for the fact that even Floyd Mayweather in those first 3 rounds was like, let me not get cute with this man. I think in the beginning stages, before Conor gasses, his speed and accuracy and power are as displayed. You know what I'm saying? Or rather, as advertised. He does have a problem with gassing, clearly. But I wonder what would have happened if Floyd would have opened up and came at him from the beginning of the fight and made that kind of dog fight like he said he made at the end. It's easy to make it a dog fight when the opponent's out of gas.
No, and I'm with you on that. I didn't buy for a second that Floyd was going to come out aggressive from the get-go. There was no way. But I don't think Floyd said he was going to come out in the beginning and come out aggressive, right? Like did he say that? I'm pretty sure he didn't, but.
Well, he said it at one point. He said all kinds of things as far as it goes. But at one point, he did say he wasn't going to take the first step backwards and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I didn't buy for a second that Floyd was going to even come forward. I didn't think Floyd was going to come forward at all. I gave him props, but then I realized, like, wait a minute. You know, when I saw Conor start gassing out, I was like, you know what? If Floyd wanted to come forward, he could right now. And he decided when I said, I think I said it in like the 5th round or something like that, or 6th round. But it was like right after that.
He was just waiting it out.
Yeah, right after that, he started going. You know what I mean? And he was tagging. And real good. You've never seen Conor get hit like this in the UFC and MMA. other than the first Diaz fight and some of the second, or actually a lot of the second fight. But regardless, you know, yeah, it's just a weird thing that anyone expected anything different to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We all watch it for the what if. Jesse, what you say?
No, well, I agree with you guys, but I also think that if Floyd had fought a Floyd fight, I mean, we'd be having a different discussion right about now, right? Because according to the judges' scorecards, at least two of the judges saw one round for Conor and all the way for Floyd, right? So that means he had banked what, like 9 rounds, basically, or 8 rounds, leading.
Yeah, which is just about the most fucking sickest thing I've ever heard of. He threw 3 rounds in round 1 and he got that one. True.
Right. But see, here's my point. I think that I think Floyd, had he fought the way he normally fights, I think it would have been a lot more of a boring fight. But I think Floyd, he even alluded to it right after the fight, right, where he said that he had to make up for that Pacquiao fight. And I think that Floyd understands that his ability to make money is still like entrenched in the fact that fans are going to tune into his fight. You know, and I think he understood that if he came out and did a Floyd fight here, this would have been a horrendous pay-per-view. But I think the fact that he actually pushed the pace eventually, you know, after that, you know, 4th and 5th round, you know, Conor made it a dogfight for those first couple rounds. I think that's what Floyd understood, that this is what Conor brought to the fight. He wasn't going to be able to hurt him. He wasn't going to be able to, you know, put his 50-0 in jeopardy because Floyd knew how to handle that. But he also knew that he was going to give him the ability to give everybody that idea that he might be able to do it, right? So, I mean, I agree with you, Fred. And I agree with a lot of the pundits. I don't think we saw a Mayweather fight, but I also think that this is the best fight that we could have seen. I mean, had it been any other way, I think it would have been a disappointing fight all the way around had it been a Floyd, you know, very defensive, not moving forward, just counter punching. And I think we would have been in for 12 rounds of just, you know, everybody screaming at the TV, you know, at least finish him or, you know, move forward, you know.
True, but what the question I'm posing though is that what if in the first 3 rounds Floyd fought like he did in the last 3 rounds? Like, do you think that Conor could have knocked him out if Floyd would have opened up as much in the last 3 rounds when Conor wasn't fucking dog shit tired?
Look, let's all agree to this. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's still
better, you know, of those exchanges, right? In the early, like first, second round shit.
Yeah, I mean, even with Floyd with his head movement and stuff, because like you said, he didn't want to get hit with that uppercut. He definitely didn't want to get hit with some of those shots that he got hit with, and he tried to move out of the way. And you know, even Paulie Malignaggi said that, you know, he was impressed at how quickly Mayweather adjusted to his range and everything, and his speed and timing and everything. And even still, it took him, you know, those couple rounds to figure all that out. You know, Conor's a sneaky guy. He has sneaky things that he did in this fight. And I agree with you. Had it been just a straight up, just a boxing, like, you know, Hagler Hearns were just going to stand and throw at each other, I'm pretty sure Conor would have gotten the better of that type of exchange, you know? Right.
But that's the problem. That's the problem with saying that Floyd started learning how to deal with the speed. I don't think Floyd started dealing with the speed. I think Floyd just tired him out and he wasn't as fast. So,
well,
it's hard to gauge those things.
A little bit, because if you look in the first like 3 rounds, definitely Conor is able to get his range, right? But then after those 3 rounds, in the 4th and 5th round, Mayweather is just making those little adjustments. He's just barely out of the range. Like even I think it was what was it, in the 6th or 7th round where Conor tries to like jab him, misses, and then he shoots out his jab again, but like in a really, really weak punch. And Mayweather basically is like right in the range where he just barely bops him at the end of his punch. So Mayweather knew exactly where that range was after that point. And I still think, because what round was it where McGregor came out and like hit him into the body and really hit him pretty hard? Shook up. Right? See, so I mean,
the 8th.
Yeah, see, I don't think that you can say that Conor was completely gassed up until he started accumulating all that damage after like the 8th, 9th round. That 9th round really did a lot of the tiring out, you know? That was the
I don't think.
Oh God.
I don't think he was completely gassed, but I think after round 6, things were going downhill. I think we had reached our max capacity, and then the maximum speed and potency and power was done for, son.
All right, Jesse, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I thought you were gonna chime in there, Eddie.
Oh no, I thought you were saying something. Now, real quick, because this is a good question. This is a funny question, actually. Gundeath says, "Yo, we gonna talk about Floyd giving him the booty the first 4 rounds?"
Yeah, that was interesting. That was an interesting tactic by Floyd. I almost kind of wondered if he was baiting him for a knee.
I thought he was baiting him for some like because he kept hitting him with hammer fists in the back. Oh, in the back of the head. It was more like the top of the head, but whatever. He kept hitting him with a hammer fist. I was like, he's looking for an illegal shot or some shit.
Did you? I don't know if you guys listened to Kenny Florian's podcast. He was talking about how basically what Conor was trying to do was bait him into turning into him a certain way so he could catch him with the left. So basically, as he turned into him, he was going to catch him. And Kenny said that was probably the smartest thing Floyd did was just chill up and just kind of let the referee separate him, right? Because Floyd knew exactly what we had talked about before, right? There's no punch combination. There's no anything that Floyd hasn't seen. Conor thought he had figured out the secret sauce here by doing this and kind of baiting him to do it. But that's the fight IQ that Mayweather has. He knew exactly what he was going to do, what he was trying to do, and he knew exactly how to stop that from happening. Because had he turned into him, you never know, man. Conor is pretty quick in those first couple of rounds. Even towards the end of the fight, he still had some speed. So he still could have caught him, with one of those sneaky lefts, right?
Yeah, he's just tired as fuck. Mike Jarvis.
He just gasses so hard, man.
He was done. He was like basically like the first like minute and a half, he was going like everything he had, and then he was literally wobbly as shit the rest of the round. Yeah, and that's what happened in the end. No. But yeah, Mike Jarvis says McNugget and Dana should release a full uncut and unedited sparring video of McNugget versus Paulie Malignaggi. Malignaggi, how do you say that shit?
Good luck with that shit.
Do you guys really want to see that though?
Well, it doesn't really.
Tired fighter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter though. I mean, at this point, right?
That being
said, really.
That being said, I'd watch it. I'm not gonna.
For sure. I would definitely watch it. But I don't want to see Conor versus Paulie or nothing. Let's just do the Nate trilogy. Let's line up Kevin Lee versus Tony Ferguson. Let's get back to doing what we do. Yeah. Fucking Khabib, do some steroids or whatever for Christ's sakes. Get back to us. Let's get back to what we do here.
Yeah, and here's what we're just last one here on Conor. We're gonna move on here to something else. Darkest Fang says, do any of you do any of you think that Conor's cardio is gonna be better now that he has tried boxing, or still have terrible cardio? And Raider says, no, it wasn't better during 3-minute rounds. I agree, but here's the thing because I was listening to Rogan today with Hannibal Buress. He had a live podcast or whatever, and he said,
I haven't listened to that one yet.
Yeah, he said that Conor doesn't run. Like for cardio, he doesn't run, and I think that's important to run.
Well, but I mean, I don't know who his sources are, and I don't know what kind of bamboozlement they give us. But I've flat seen footage of him running. I don't know if they do that just for TV or if that's the only time he runs. Listen, man, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, especially after the Conor fight. So look at Conor, right? And let's just assume, for the Christ's sakes, let's assume he's not cheating. Let's assume he's not on steroids, right? Does the dude look like he's not in tremendous shape?
Oh, he's in great shape.
I mean, look at the guy, right? He looks like he's got a half-ounce body fat. I mean, the dude's as lean as you can possibly be. Nate Diaz smokes pot, flabby little brown belly. Goddamn guy looks like he's doesn't look all that particularly athletic at all and never gets tired. I gotta say, man, I think some of this shit is just like genetics, hereditary. Awesome. Like, I think you kind of get to the point that I think Conor can do what he can do. And at a certain point, Jack, you've maximized your personal potential in that category. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how much I lift weights, no matter how much I go to the boxing gym, I'll only be able to throw so hard of an overhand right. And once I get there without taking the roids, I'm there. Once you're at Conor's level and you're fucking training like Drago from Rocky, and if you're really taking it seriously, I mean, unless there's some ancient Chinese breathing techniques or, you know, some really off the wall shit that he hasn't tried with fucking old touch butt in the park. There's only so much you can do. I think you can kind of just hit a level, man. Not, you know, everybody can't be everything.
No, you're right. I think ESPN did a study or something a couple years ago and said that basically those top level athletes are just genetic freaks. They're weirdos.
Yeah,
you know, they have the genetics to run faster, grow bigger, you know, be stronger. But I think the other thing is that a lot of people are forgetting is that in MMA we have what 5-ounce gloves or whatever it is, right? Like they don't 4-ounce gloves. They don't weigh anything basically. You know, it's just basically your hand wrap and a little bit of leather on your fingers. You know, but in boxing, those boxing gloves are heavy to keep up. You know, like, and Conor's style was to keep his hands up. You know, keep pawing out and everything. That is exhausting. I mean, anybody that's in the comments that doesn't understand what I'm talking about, shadow box for 5 minutes or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Just do 3 minutes. I mean, that's exhausting to keep your hands up and just keep punching and punching. I mean, it's an incredible taxing on your system. And we've seen, what is it, Nick Diaz do like a 5, 10, 15-minute video of him just like hitting the speed bag. I mean, those guys are just have cardio for days. I just think that Conor didn't have enough time to really prepare for what was going to happen. I think if you gave Conor a year, I think he would look a lot better. I think he could go 6, 7, 8 rounds before he gets tired. Might even finish the fight. You know, I just think that he wasn't ready for all the extra stuff that was going to happen. The keeping up your hands, you know, the body shots, everything that happened in that fight. I just don't think Conor was exactly prepared for that whole thing. He, like he said, he was in great shape, and he was. It's just, you know, it's a different beast to do all those things and you know, not tire out.
No, I hear you guys for sure. All right, let's talk about a couple more things here, and then we're gonna call it a night. Darkest Fangs goes, and the pedo van is back. Dude, he's in the drive-thru. Are you?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm just chilling.
All right.
The pedo van has never gone anywhere, guys. I just don't turn on the video most of the time because my connection goes all crappy.
All right. Actually, there was a couple of things. We'll talk about John Jones just a little bit here because there's been a lot of talk about Jones and like his legacy, right? I mean, how we talked about it a little bit last time, but he came out with this tweet a couple of days ago, and actually, let me pull it up because it won't make sense if I don't read it directly. Because he was talking, you know, he finds a way to make himself the victim every time, right?
Is this the tweet where he said that this is how he figures out who are his friends and all that stuff?
He goes, this is a tweet. Times like these remind me how blessed I truly am, so much to be grateful for. But there was one, and I can't find it now. He might have deleted it, where he says this is when you find out who your friends are. Look, man, the first time you got popped, okay, you know, I get it. People are probably like, okay, you know, it's cool. You know, it probably was a tainted supplement, whatever. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Those same people are going to fucking bail on you, aren't they? They're going to be like, you know what, fuck you, you're lying, right? It's kind of fucked up. But, Fred, what do you think about that?
Yeah. I don't give a shit about none of that, man. I mean, listen, I guess, like I said, if USADA comes out and apologizes, the B sample comes back clean, he didn't cheat, it was all a big mix-up, then yeah, I'll take this back. But that seems rather unlikely at this point, that it was just all a big mistake. But if it was all a big mistake, then my bad. If it wasn't all a big mistake and you fucking got caught that shit in your system, I tell you what, it fucking ruined your legacy for all of me. Fuck your legacy. Your legacy is more than called into question. It's fucked because it's so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't know, man. It's so hard to judge his career properly looking back thinking that he might have been cheating. So it's like, yeah, look what he did to so-and-so. Look what he did to so-and-so. But goddamn, back then we didn't have USADA. Fucking John Jones. You remember the old school story about him hiding under the ring at Jackson's? You remember the urban legend myth about that? I remember hearing about that shit way back when.
Here's the thing: there's urban myths and there's legends, and there's a lot of people repeating the same fucking story from different sources.
Well, yeah, man. Where there's fucking smoke, there's fire. Then he gets caught with dick pills. I mean, come on, man. His teammate, somebody's trying to ruin this kid's life.
Bullshit.
Why? Who?
You know what? Here's the thing, though. Regarding that tweet, though, the thing is that he should have learned from his first experience, right? All the people that left and then came back after he was back on top. Yeah, don't hang out with those people. Don't let those people back into your life. Like, we all know that John Jones is surrounded by a bunch of yes men, a bunch of people that allow him to do whatever the hell he wants. You know, Jackson has been on record saying that he can't really do anything outside of the gym, right? He can get him ready for fights. He can make sure he does this and that. Other than that, he has no control over Jones. Jones is just surrounded by morons that think, oh, yeah, John, go ahead, do that coke, you know? Oh, hey, let me introduce you to the stripper. Like, all these bad influences around him, and he just thinks that all this is gravy. Now he gets popped again.
Hold on, Jesse. Let me hold on. Sorry to interrupt you, but let me just jump in for a minute, dude. I don't see how one's got nothing to do with the other. Like, I don't give a fuck who introduces him to the whores and the coke. You can do they're not. I don't suggest you do that, but when he was doing those things, I wasn't really hating on him like that. And like Greg Jackson, fair enough, man. I'm not your daddy. I'm your trainer. If you want to go cheat on your old lady tonight, you're supposed to be at home with your wife, and you want to go fuck some whores and do some blow, that's a personal decision. But you hiding under the fucking ring, and I don't think that fucking Greg Jackson don't know that guys in his fucking gym are juicing.
Oh, for sure.
He's been around long enough to know what's up. Like, that just is something different. If you want to make bad decisions in your life, there's lots of superstars who have done that, and that's a different topic. If you want to be fucking Lance Armstrong, you cocksucker, that's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? They're just I try to separate them so much because, like, I don't hold the Diaz brothers nothing for smoking weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they tested positive for steroids, I swear to Christ, test positive for steroids, I'm never watching the sport again. I'm not fucking about.
I understand you, Fred, but I also think that if you create a habit where you have guys around you that, you know, don't even look out for your best interests, like, oh, hey, John, you shouldn't drive today. Oh, you shouldn't do this. And then you go up to some, go check this out. This guy over here where I was weight training gave me these steroids to inject, or these pills to take. You don't think those same guys are going to be like, oh, yeah, John, you should totally do it. You could go kick some more ass, you know, or just don't say anything.
Influences overall.
That's what I'm saying.
I dig what you're saying. Yeah, bad influences overall. No doubt. I can dig what you're saying. It's probably the same guy that has the coke and the steroids, more than likely.
Here's the thing, though. But again, it's personal choices. You made the choice to take that shit.
Right.
Whether or not it was tainted or anything, the fact that you knew it was a questionable source says everything I need to know about you. You're either reckless, stupid, or an asshole, and you fucking cheated on purpose. That's literally where we're at. The first time around, legit.
Pretty much, yeah.
The first time around, I was like, look, maybe he's right. Maybe he did. You know, he was messing around. He's a young guy. He wants to have some fun. Go for it, right? I didn't give a shit about the coke. I didn't give a fuck. Do coke if you want to. Fuck it. Tyson did, and he was a champion. Okay, do your thing.
Right.
But when you get busted the second time, and this time is a T-ball shit, which is an old school steroid. That's old school steroid, bro. All right. Then it's like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? Okay.
Well, they said that shit like helps make your bones denser.
Weird.
Bruh.
Weird. Now,
that's like barbarian shit. Jesus Christ, John.
Imagine if he'd been taking that for a while. That kick that DC got.
Yeah.
Right.
But did you?
DC might be able to like do something about this shit. What's up, Jesse?
Did you hear what Victor Conte was saying? That it's possible that he was taking something else, and it got tainted with this tribunal or whatever it is. So he's saying that because it's so old school, nobody would use it in the way that it's intended. Right. That the only way you would probably get it is because you were taking some other supplement that was tainted with this. So, and it's coming from Victor Conte, so he knows a couple things about things.
Yeah, he does. But at the same time, there's also a lot of theories out there. People said that somebody from DC's team came in, tainted his orange juice. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Okay.
No, that's stupid.
I'm saying. All right. Fuck. I just lost who said it because it's one of my favorite comments tonight. Uncle Hank's Pappy says Ted Bundy had a legacy too. Goddamn right he did. Fucking
fair enough.
Yeah. The homie Jeremiah from the Hardcore MMA show says, interesting fact though. Why would he take it the night of the fight? That's the weird part, but maybe he's just that dumb.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he fucking thought that it wouldn't pop up in his system that quickly. I mean, I'm grasping for straws here, but moving up the heavyweight afterwards, so he was planning for a quick turnaround. I mean, he is the same dude that snorted blow and fucked whores about 10 days outside of his first DC fight. So
how crazy is that story, though? God,
I mean, damn. He is the same guy that hit a pregnant lady, got out, dipped, ran back to get a bowl, not a pound of weed or a couple ounces, but a marijuana bowl. He's a bit of a dummy, man. So don't get me wrong, Jeremiah. I feel you, man. That's weird. But I don't know if it just came out that John's a little fucking stupid.
It might be.
And made a bad decision. That wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world at this fucking juncture.
No, he's a good question. I actually like this question a lot because I've been wondering this for a while. This is Raider, and Raider says, okay, if Jones only gets 2 years, who the hell's gonna work with him? If Sample B comes back positive, he's completely embarrassed Jackson Wink. Okay, if that happens, he gets 2 years. And again, he did embarrass Jackson Wink. Let's say he got 4 years. Who's going to work with him? You know what I mean? Like,
oh, well, listen, money talks, bullshit walks. People will work with him. Yeah. I wouldn't put all the money out to say, Jackson wouldn't work with him in a couple of years. We all know little fucking Greg likes his money. But listen, if he doesn't, somebody out, he's still – the thing about it is no matter what, man, he will always be John Jones at this point, even if he gets 4 years. If in 4 years' time he says he wants to make a comeback, he might have to slide off to Japan or somewhere for a few fights. But no matter what, from now on, he'll be John Jones, man. And, I mean, as much as the sport is turned on him now, 4 years from now, I mean, if he's actually able to remotely stay together or something, who knows, man? I mean, maybe we will have forgiven, forgotten by that point. Or I don't know. 4 years is just so fucking long, man. It's so hard to tell what the fucking, air will be like then.
What's up?
Let me think about it. I think Fred has been the most devastated by these news and if he tests positive and everything. And I think if Fred owned an MMA gym and John Jones walked in there after 4 years and said, hey, I want to come back, Fred would be like, all right. Your money's still good here. It's all good.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You got a pretty good point, Jack. I'd be like, well, fuck. Can we get an Instagram picture?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all kinds of people, man. You could have the most highly respected person, and you can throw some money at them, and they're still gonna do what they got to do. At the end of the day, people got to make their living somehow. Jackson's no different. I don't see Jackson abandoning him at this point either.
I don't know. I wouldn't see if it comes out that it's for sure that he that he used. You know what I mean? And he gets suspended. I don't see why Jackson would be like, oh yeah, keep hanging around here, be a bad influence for the rest of my guys. Why not? But we'll see. Darkest Fangs throwing the fucking low blows. Which is funny because he's only talking about me because I know Kirby don't give a shit about football. He says, reckless stupid. You're talking about Jones. Reckless stupid or either a Phoenix Suns fan, me, or an Ohio Buckeyes fan, which Fred doesn't really care.
No, but listen, go fuck yourself. The intent is known.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull up the latest headlines here before we go. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we go?
Do you want to talk about the UFC fight night this weekend?
Right. I forgot. This weekend, Stefan Struve against Volkan. There you go. We talked about it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man, to be honest with you, this is one of those fight cards that ordinarily we would get on here and piss all over. But I tell you what, man, it's like getting high again for the first time in a
It's
long
nice to have
time. I am
that.
so looking forward to this card, man. It's a weirdy beardy card in some weirdy beardy part of the world. So it starts at like fucking 10, 11 in the morning.
I got you.
I'm going to wake up, make my fucking coffee, and enjoy some MMA for the first time in what feels like forever. So I'm fucking stoked for this card. A lot of like no-name European guys on it, but the main card's like dope, and the main event will be fucking fun.
It's free. It's on Fight Pass. What's up?
I was gonna ask Fred. Like, I think this card would have been a little bit better had Marion Renault versus GDR had gone on. But
Only
now
because people want to see GDR get her ass whooped.
Well, we also have to see how she looks, right? Because she keeps saying that she's ready to go and all this stuff, and now she pulls out again. I mean, at this point, Fred, do you still want her to compete in the UFC?
I mean, listen, if I'm being completely honest, if I never saw her fight again, would it, disparage me in any major way? Not particularly. I mean, she's the quote-unquote featherweight champion, but we all know who's the champion now. And we're waiting. Hopefully they do the Holly Holm fight. Once they do Holly Holm Cyborg, GDR will be nothing but a memory. So,
yeah. Oh, he's a good one. Real quick, Raider asks, hey, who's the manager of his? Talking about Jones. He has a few cheaters under him. True. It's Makikawa, and he's actually pretty good at getting his guys out of trouble. At least minimizing sentences. So that's what. Flying Brian said GDR who? Yeah, that's a lot of people are saying. All right, real quick. This weekend's Fight Pass card. It is from Rotterdam, right? And it's headlined by Alexander Volkov and Stefan Struve in the heavyweight division. Co-main event of Sia Baharduzada against Rob Wilkinson was supposed to fight.
Whoa,
Jesse.
my dude.
Yeah.
Samir Baharduzada.
Yeah.
That's my dude, man.
Hey, Jesse, what's the name of the guy who's supposed to fight? It was like
it's Abu Alzatar. Like that.
Right. What's by him? He pulled out. Rob Wilkinson comes in late. Rob Wilkinson's not a bitch. So make sure you watch that fight because that actually might end up being a pretty fucking solid fight. Marion Renaud taking on Talita Bernardo. Leon Edwards against Brian Barberina. Brian Barberina always goes in there, supposed to get his ass whooped, somehow fucking pulls it off. So yeah.
Leon Edwards is a beast too, man. That'll be a fun fight.
Fuck yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. Darren Till against Bojan Velikovic. Maribek Taisumov against Felipe Silva. Taisumov's a fucking scary dude, so keep that in mind. Mikhail Prazeres against Mads Burnell. Husam Kabilov against Desmond Green. This is an interesting one, and I'm not going to give away, not going to say too much because Jesse actually has a video coming out tomorrow morning. It's called it's Crossway MMA snack grab preview for this weekend's card, so it'll be on there. But Husam Kabilov against Desmond Green is a solid fucking fight. If you look at these guys' histories and everything, this fight is going to be a little tougher for Desmond Green than for Kabilov, but we could end up having like a fucking crazy fight out of this one. Francis Barbosa against Alexander Rakic. Mike Santiago against Zabit. What the fuck is your last name, dog? Zabit what? Magomed Sharipov.
Yeah. It's a European card, son. It's a European card.
Bojan Mihajlovic Abdul against motherfuckers. Thibaut Gauti against Andrew Holbrook is the first fight of the night, which is kind of weird. The first one. So here's the important part. This is a get up and get your breakfast for the West Side, for the West Coasters, and it's a lunchtime card for you guys in the East. Online prelims, it's all online. So the prelims start off at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, 11:30 a.m. East Coast or Eastern Standard, and the main card, also on Fight Pass, is noon Pacific time and 3 p.m. for the East Coast. Okay. So again, it's one of those good ones where you can watch the whole card and then go on about your business, go do some shit, have some fun on your Saturday. Enjoy this shit, motherfuckers. It's fucking baller. And
fuck yeah.
How fucking happy are we have some MMA back, dude? For real. Finally.
Yeah, man.
Finally.
Yeah, I'm super excited to watch. That was one of the weird takeaways, too, from just watching the whole boxing card that night. Fuck, man. I swear. It's kind of like, seeing a bitch you used to fuck and her have gotten fat and shit. Like I used to watch boxing, and then I got with MMA.
Yeah.
And like I went back and saw boxing again. I'm like, oh, good Lord, I can't wait to go home to MMA.
Right.
This is so tired and lame. Like I can't wait to watch some MMA this weekend. Like boxing is just, I can't see how I ever did that.
I can't believe I left her. I must go back. So that was. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go?
Well, one more thing on that is tune in tomorrow to Fight Pass, and they're gonna have what is it? Invicta
25.
Yeah. So
yeah, Waves went down today. Actually, I don't want to fucking do a disservice by not telling people about that card.
As you're looking it up, the main event, Kuniskaya is the girl that was supposedly the last to be the chick that just fought for the featherweight title here in UFC. So, I mean, she's a legit, good-looking girl and a legit good fighter. So, check out that fight at least, even if you don't watch anything else. Kuniskaya is someone to look out for.
Yeah, names on this card. Kuniskaya, she was the one that she got bailed out by the ref against. Wow, I'm an asshole. What's her name that just fought Cyborg?
Yeah, no, I forgot her name.
Holy shit, I feel like an asshole. This should not be like away from my mind right now. Fuck, it's God damn it. Whatever, I'm an asshole. I'm gonna have to look that up. Anyway,
you mean the brother just fought Cyborg?
Yeah.
Most recently?
Yeah.
Oh, true. Tanya Evinger.
Thank you. God damn it. Tanya Evinger. Thank you. Yeah. And
Jesus
Brian,
Christ, you guys suck.
Dude.
I'm the stoner on the show. What the fuck?
It's been a long day, man. It's been a long fucking day. All right. All these names are flying out, and I'm trying to read these motherfuckers. All right. And Kuniskaya against Raquel Palau, which is actually going to be a good fight. Hinata Salza, you guys, I was actually in Houston for that fight where she beat Michelle Watterson for her title. So she's actually a fucking tough-ass chick. Taking on Denisa Morandin. Alexa Connors against Katarina Lettner, and the list goes down from there. Look, if anything, people always fucking they always like look down on these Invicta cards, right? And it doesn't make any sense to me because these girls fight their asses off. And I'm not just saying this is like a pandering thing, like the way a lot of people do. I mean this shit. The chicks come in and they fucking throw down because they're looking for that respect. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be tomorrow night. The weigh-ins went down today, and actually, I think as we speak, Tough 26 has begun. The featherweight women. Yep. So if you guys feel like going on there, do your thing. So shout out to Gun Death, Flying Brian, Uncle Hank's Pappy, Mike Jobs, our brother, Raider, Liam, who was here who I think he's still here, Darkest Fangs, who finally makes another goddamn appearance. Jesus Christ, I was giving me shit about being a Suns fan, you dick. And then our brother Jeremiah from the Hardcore MMA show. Make sure you watch those motherfuckers. That's a good show for sure. And then earlier in the day, UC, of course, UC was here for a while. All you guys watching, we really appreciate it, especially you guys that stay up till 3, 4 in the morning and fucking watches. You guys are the shit. You can follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. You can follow Jesse at Swant1983. I am at Elaw31. You can see all the Twitters right down here in this little blue spot. Hit those up. And, of course, represent, shout out, CrossFitMMA.com. Get yourself some gear. Helps us out. Helps keep the podcast going. Of course, SpicesPros.com helped us out with the Madden giveaway, and they got another one coming up here in a couple months that I'll be able to announce. I know some details now, but nothing too crazy yet. But it'll be MMA related though, so everyone can get in on it now. It'll be MMA related. It'll be cool. It's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on here, like the video, leave a comment afterwards, and you guys are all bad motherfuckers. Thanks for watching. So for myself, Fred, and Jesse, and the rest of the crew, appreciate you guys tuning in, and good night, Workshop.